everybody. I'm Michelle Anderson, founder of Clarinet Mentors and the Clarinet is Easy lesson system. Today, I want to remind you of some good embouchure habits that really will help you sound better and play more easily. Now, I'm guessing a lot of you know some of these things already, but it's my experience as a performer, and I've been a professional player and teacher for 30 years now, that we need to constantly remind ourselves of the basics. In this past week, I've had some quite advanced students who've all been a little rusty in this one area. So to me, that's a sign that we could all use some reminders of it. And I'm going to pass this on to you today. In this video, I'm going to very briefly review what I think of as the three-step embouchure, kind of the most important things to making the right shape of your mouth for clarinet. And I'm going to focus on step 3. Following that, there's also some exercises you can use at home, and if you want to even download the worksheet that's written in the write-up below this video, that gives you some more materials to work with. So there are many things to think about with embouchure, but if we were to really simplify the basics, I have a three-step embouchure, and it's in more detail in some of my other videos here, but basically step 1 is that we want to make sure we're putting enough mouthpiece in our mouth. So wherever your top teeth go, basically, the further we have them on the mouthpiece, the more the reed can vibrate. And we want the reed to vibrate like crazy. That's what gives us a nice warm sound. Many people over time slip too close to the tip of the mouthpiece. So you can experiment with just playing a few notes, putting a bit more in your mouth, see if it sounds better. If you go too far, you usually get a horrible, awful squeak. So it's very easy to tell if you've gone too far. Step 2, also very important, and I'm not going to focus on it here, but I'll mention it briefly. Because our bottom lip touches the reed, we want to make sure that we pull the skin away from the reed and down as much as possible. And I turn sideways so you can see the curve in my chin when we do that. That's something we also get rusty on, so it wouldn't hurt for you to check that. Ideally, take a picture of yourself, put your phone up and picture yourself, take a photo from the side, see if you see that nice curve. Step 3 is what I'm focusing on today, and that's what we do with the corners of our mouth. And this really makes a significant impact on how the reed vibrates and how warm our sound is. So what we want to do is have the corners of our mouth come inward as if they're pushing on the edge of the mouthpiece. And I want to show you a way you can get the feel for that, and you have to have 2 hands free to do this. What you're going to do is take your index finger and set it right here in the middle of your bottom lip, where the reed would normally go. With your other hand, you're going to take your thumb and finger in, and I'll turn sideways so you can see what I'm doing. We're going to squish the sides of this finger as if we're crushing it like this with our bottom lip. All right? Feels kind of funny, but we want to just do that to get a sense of what it would be like if my bottom lip were wrapping around my index finger. The next step of this exercise is we simply try and crush the sides of our finger with our bottom lip. Ugh. It works better if you make like a real grunt like that. So if you can go, ugh, that's what I recommend doing. All right. Now when we do this, if we were to hold that in place, what's really nice about this exercise is although the middle of my bottom lip is now in kind of a funny scrunched up position, which we don't want, the whole rest of the frame of my mouth and the muscles around it are perfect for clarinet. So let's take a look at that. I go, oh, I forgot the grunt. Oh. Now you can see here, this lip is coming down, the corners of my mouth are coming in, and it really frames our embouchure nicely. So this gives us a way of tactilely feeling what it's like if those muscles are coming in. When we put the mouthpiece in our mouth, the next step is to crush the sides of the mouthpiece, and you can grunt if you want to. It might make you feel more fun with this exercise. Now, of course, grunting is optional, but that motion is what we really want to be making the best possible sound on the clarinet. A really common bad habit that a lot of musicians have is that our corners tend to smile. They tend to come back this way. And in a way that helps us get our chin in the right shape, but it's not the best habit. Along with that is we also tend to bite a little bit on the reed. And we'll bite more when we're in the higher register, and we'll bite more when the music is hard. Our body's natural reaction to challenge is to clench whatever body parts are there, and often it's our jaw. This will inhibit the reed, it'll keep it from vibrating, and it makes your sound either squeaking in the extreme or it makes it sound stuffy. So getting the corners in is one of the best ways to ensure that we're not biting on the reed, and in fact that we're allowing our air just to very openly and easily move through the clarinet and produce a big, beautiful sound. You're definitely going to notice an improvement in your higher notes, especially if you're already playing into the altissimo register. If you think of your corners coming in, to me this is one of the cornerstones of playing well in the altissimo, is really bringing those corners in. I'll give you a little example of that. Let's say I was playing my high F, just thumb and register key, these fingers, and I wanted to go up to the altissimo D. And in this case, because I like using half hole, I'm going to slide my top finger down. If I did it the way people normally do, with a bit of a smile on my face, that D gets a little bit pinched. I can do it, but it's a little hard. Instead, if I really wrap those corners in, it pops out so much more easily for me. I'm not sure how much you can hear through the computer, but what I felt was the first time, I was kind of forcing that high D out. The second time, it popped out easily and effortlessly. That's what we want on clarinet. I'm a huge fan of giving you the systems that make the notes feel easier, and wrapping our corners in can hugely do that. So you'll see on the attached worksheet, there's some exercises, just various intervals, and I've designed some for less experienced players and some for more experienced players. And the whole idea is just to take some of those easy intervals, and your focus is going to be corners in and holding that shape, that direction of force where we're crushing the sides of our mouthpiece while you're working on those exercises. If you have any pieces of music that you're currently working on that take you up into the altissimo, and you find that slurring from the upper clarion register into the altissimo leaves you with a gap or a pinch sound, corners in may just make a big difference in making that sound smoother for you. Also, it just tends to let us play with bigger dynamic range and a much warmer, rounder tone. So for this week, I make this your challenge. Really see what you can do to get your corners in, give you a warmer sound, make your high notes better, give you lots of flexibility. Now, one caution I should have here, when we shape our lips like this, it's as if we're saying, oh, and our tongue immediately likes to drop into O position. And if our tongue drops, which it naturally will tend to do, that can make your pitch drop. So for example, let me take a high C, and I'm going to round my corners in, but I'm also going to let my tongue drop. Listen to what happens to the sound. So although I kind of opened it up, because my tongue dropped, there were some negative side effects there, which we don't want. So it's very important that our tongue inside of our mouth is always riding fairly high, as if we're saying he. That's the only thing that possibly sometimes messes up when we start trying to think of this round corners. Take any bits of music you have where you have difficult slurs, try this out, and I think you're going to find it's an improvement. I hope you've enjoyed today's mini lesson on tuning up your embouchure to make a better sound. If you like this and you'd like more information, there are lots of great Clarinet Mentors videos here on YouTube, and the best way to access them is to join the Clarinet Mentors community. It's absolutely free. You just sign up at www.learnclarinetnow.com. You'll get a great newsletter every 2 weeks with pointers like today's video, and you'll also be informed if there's any other special clarinet events coming up. Super easy to sign up. If it's not a good fit for you, it's really easy to unsign up. So I invite you to join in the community. Please also post your comments on the video below. I do like reading your comments, and I'll respond to them personally if you have any questions or comments about any of the techniques you see here. Enjoy your clarinet this week, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.